This is the story of an extraordinary pet snake named Opal who completely changed the way I see reptiles and became a true source of joy in my life. If someone had told me years ago that I would one day have a python, I would have laughed. But somehow, everything fell into place, as if fate itself brought us together. Opal's presence in my life has been a beautiful and unexpected journey, reshaping my perspective in ways I never imagined. When Opal first came into my life, I never imagined she would transform everything. It was a rainy afternoon when I received a call from a local animal rescue organization. They had just taken in a young python that needed a home, and since I had some experience with reptiles, they thought I might be a good fit. Hesitant but intrigued, I agreed to meet her. What greeted me was a shy yet stunningly beautiful python with eyes that seemed to gleam with an unusual intensity, deep blue and mesmerizing. Opal was still adjusting to her new environment. She was a small, young snake at the time, but her curiosity was unmistakable. I set up her enclosure with warmth, climbing branches and hiding spaces, trying to make it as comfortable as possible for her. At first, she would curl up in the corner, wary of her new surroundings. But every time I checked on her, she seemed to be more and more intrigued by me, as though she was trying to understand who I was. After a few days of careful observation, I decided to try something different. I sat quietly near her enclosure and gently spoke to her. To my surprise, she responded by crawling closer to the glass, her blue eyes focused on me. It was the beginning of something unspoken but powerful. From that moment on, I realized Opal was not just a snake. She was going to be something much more in my life. As the days passed, Opal and I began to form an undeniable connection. I would spend time with her every day, gently letting her slither around my hands and arms. She wasn't like other reptiles I had encountered before. Her touch was delicate yet intentional, as if she was aware of the care I gave her. Her striking blue eyes followed me wherever I went, and there was something in her gaze that spoke volume. It wasn't just curiosity, it was affection. What truly set Opal apart was her surprising willingness to interact with me. Unlike other snakes that prefer solitude, Opal seemed to seek companionship. She would curl up on my lap while I watched TV or read, content to simply be near me. When I moved, she would follow, gently wrapping around my arm or leg, as if she couldn't bear to be far from me. Over time, this behavior grew even stronger. She would nuzzle my hand, pressing her head against it as though asking for attention. And it became clear that she saw me not just as a caretaker, but as a friend. Her affection didn't just come in the form of gentle touches. Opal developed a sense of routine and was always eager to see me. She would anticipate when it was time for feeding and even seemed to enjoy the way I carefully prepared her meals. As strange as it may sound, I found myself looking forward to those quiet moments with her. She had a unique way of making me feel seen, heard, and loved in a way that no other pet ever had. Opal's magical blue eyes continued to mesmerize me, but it was more than just her appearance that made her so enchanting. There was an undeniable calmness that she brought into my life. Whenever I felt stressed or overwhelmed, Opal's presence seemed to soothe me in ways I couldn't explain. It was as though her very energy was grounding, and I would find myself relaxed and at peace just by being near her. On the days when I struggled emotionally, Opal would seem to sense it. She would slither closer to me, her movements slow and deliberate, as if to comfort me. She'd wrap around my wrist or rest her head against my leg, offering silent support. It wasn't always immediate, but there was always something reassuring in her gaze, in the way she held space for me without asking for anything in return. I started to realize that Opal wasn't just a pet. She was a companion, a quiet healer. Her presence had transformed the way I saw relationships between humans and animals. Opal was teaching me patience, acceptance, and the power of quiet love. Her deep blue eyes held stories, mysteries, and emotions that were far beyond the surface. And I had begun to understand her in ways that felt almost magical. As months passed, it became impossible to imagine my life without Opal. Her gentle nature, her blue-eyed gaze, and her ability to be both present and serene had slowly but profoundly changed the way I navigated the world. I found myself more patient and open, more connected to the natural world around me. The bond we shared wasn't just one of companionship, it was a quiet yet deep understanding. Opal's transformation from a shy, wary snake into a beloved companion was a reflection of my own journey. Her trust in me grew over time, just as I began to trust her. Her wisdom, her calm presence, and the way she taught me to live in the moment. She had given me so much more than I could have ever anticipated when I first agreed to take her in. Today, Opal is no longer just a pet to me. She is a cherished part of my life, a reminder of the beauty in small moments and the powerful connections that can form when we open ourselves to the unexpected. Her magical blue eyes still captivate me, and I know that she has not only transformed my life, but has also taught me the true meaning of love, patience, and companionship. Lessons that will stay with me forever.